Hello guys, this is Mehdi from the Software Engineer channel. In this video, we will try to build a weather API using Node.js in 10 minutes. Let's start. First of all, I created an empty folder called Weather API in which I opened Visual Studio Code. So, in order to use Node.js, we will have to initiate the projects using npm init -y. -y means that Node.js or npm will fill this information for you instead of typing line by line. Then we'll have to install two packages. We will install Express for building. It's a web framework for building servers fast. And also we'll need Request to send requests to a weather API that we will fetch data from and show it to the user. So we'll install them. Then I'll create an empty file called server.js in which we will create our Express app, and it will be the file that will make us send requests to the front end and get data from it. So we will start by importing Express. Const express equals require express. Then we'll also get back import request. We will require it in our file. Then we will create our Express app. And then we'll add a listener on port 3000, and then we'll add a little callback that will tell us that the server started correctly. In order to make it more interesting and test our app, we will just add like a GET request on the home of our server that will show us, hello, this is a weather API. Let's send. Let's test our project using nodemon. It will allow us to refresh our server every time we click on save or we send a send request to Visual Studio. Nodemon server. We'll go to our browser and then type localhost 3000. So our projects work correctly. So now let's search for a weather API. We will use this API, open weather map. We'll have first to subscribe to this API so we can get our key. Get API key and start. Then we'll have to sign up. I'll just create an account. This platform sends you your API key to your directly to your email. So we'll just call it the SWE for the company, and for the purpose it's education science, it's a tutorial. Then we'll go to API keys, and here's my API key. We will keep it here, and I will also go to the API documentation and subscribe to this, get API key and start. So we will need to read the documentation so we can get our response corresponding to a city. So we'll have to send like a city from the front end, and we will get back like the weather for this city. So there is an endpoint called myCityName that will allow us to get the weather for a precise city. So let's test it on our browser. For example, Casablanca, my home city. Invalid API key. So we'll have to add our API key. I did lose it when I added like when I tested the app on the new tab. So how can we get it? Let's go to this example. Oh, here is it. So we'll change this app ID by our API key. So I'll just get back to my API keys and copy my API key, get it in here, and here I'll put my home city name. So we're getting the right data for our city home. Let's check the clock, 6 minutes 49. So we'll have to go faster. Now let's read request documentation. Here it is. I use it often. And let's just copy and paste this in here. So this will allow us to send an API request and get back the body. We'll have to test our API if it sends a correct response by using the response status code. This will return a good response if it is 200. It's an HTTP response code. If it sends a good response, then I'll just use this notation so that I can write directly here. Response, the weather in your city right now. Here I'll just leave it empty. This parameter we'll leave it empty because we'll get it from the user, from the front end. And we'll get this status from the API response. Here, because we'll get it from the front end, we'll have to extract it. Let's city equals request that query that contains it will contain the arguments, the get request arguments that are coming from the front end. Then I'll just put it in here, and for the API I'll get like the weather main. Here the argument, I'll take the description. I am using an extension called JSON view that will allow you to explore JSON responses in your browser, in your Chrome browser easily. So I'll just add it here, and here I'll add the body argument from the request package. Body contains this whole body, the response that we will get from the API, and here we will have to put our API request link. And instead of my home city, we'll just put the city that is coming from the front end. So now we'll have to test this. I'll just erase these two lines. Let's send like city equals Casablanca. Oops. Let's read. Cannot read property 0 of undefined. Why is that? Let's debug. Oh, I am not transforming the body that I am getting into a JSON data. So all I have to do is I'll create a new variable and then I'll have to parse this into JSON body, and I'll have to replace this with data. Oh, it's working. The weather is in your city, Casablanca, is clear sky. Let's try for Paris. It is also, I'll try, for example, Boston. Let's hope that it will give us another. Oh, Tokyo. Oh my god, it is not. The weather is stable on Earth today. Oh, we got past time. I think that we got in time. It's not in just 2 another minutes. So thanks guys for watching, and please send your requests or some projects that you will request us to work on it and try to create it in 10 minutes. So thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Hope that you'll come back soon. Thank you.